Thank you very much for inviting me to moderate this panel. It's a pleasure for me to be here with one of the two biggest companies from Poland in terms of marketplaces. And I want to start just asking you, Paweł or Adam is fine. Well, let's introduce you first. I'm here with Adam Dubiel, the CTO from Allegro, right? The technology officer? Oh?
Actually, no, technology director.
Director, yeah, okay.
Next step.
And Paweł Trocki?
Yes.
The CPO of G2A. And what do you think is the main reason for the consumers to go directly to a big marketplace instead of a single vendor online?
I think it's, there are a few reasons. There's no a single reason. I think it's marketplaces are like shopping malls, meaning that in real life, but much larger in terms of the assortment that is located in the marketplace and the ease of browsing through the product categories. They are standardized in terms of experience, regardless of the product being bought. They provide with a huge variety of products, of course, as I've said. They can offer this best prices for the same product because of the competition, of course, fierce competition, specifically in horizontal marketplaces. They usually tend to offer better delivery options, sometimes combined with better payment options, deferred payments. And I think that they offer certain additional layer of protection because the sellers are verified. So that's, I think, the main reasons.
Perfect. Something to add, or?
Yeah, so just from my perspective, is what Paweł said, you could probably put it in like two words, which is trust and convenience.
Yep.
So it's whenever you want to buy something, for example, Allegro or G2A, you're entering the familiar space, the space that you trust. A lot of barriers are actually disappearing from the customer perspective, meaning like, whenever you enter a new space, a new website, and you want to buy something, you need to enter your address. Well, that's easy, but then you enter your credit card, and this is, this is the very, very hard for some people to do actually, especially in European markets. In America, it's in the US, it's a bit different. But anyway, you're removing those barriers because you've built trust during multiple transactions, and then also what marketplaces can offer is actually tailor the experience to your. Based on your purchasing history, based on your interest, on how you've been inspired by the platform before, we can actually build this unique experience. And just 2 days ago, Allegro launched a new homepage, which is almost entirely personalized, customized to whatever are your needs. So I think, it's like entering something familiar, and you trust the space. You have great protection from any fraudulent activities. So I think these are the main reasons.
Okay.
Yeah. We do offer brainless experience, regardless if it's a physical marketplace or digital marketplace. The sort of ease for the consumers to purchase, it's, I think, the most dominant reason for them to,
Okay, thank you very much. And after the pandemic, the online sales are still growing. If this behavior continues, does it mean the offline traditional stores is going to be disappeared, or the multi-brand retailers will be out of the market in the future, and we are only going through pure marketplaces online?
So I think that's long question is no, answer is short answer is no, meaning they will not disappear. And we can see that the trend after the very dynamic growth during the pandemic, the trend is actually like, a bit, it's slowing down. And in some geographies, it's even, well, not to say reversing, but the marketplaces or e-commerce in general is not growing, not even as fast, but shrinking a bit. So while, of course, I believe that the trend will once again change and the e-commerce space will grow, it will not be as fast as during COVID. This was extraordinary times, and hopefully nothing like this will happen again to us. But I think there is something important in still having this kind of a omni-channel experience and being actually to visit some physical space. And after the COVID, you could see that actually people were hungry for visiting those physical spaces.
Yep.
So I think that the future is of kind of, intertwining those two spaces and leveraging this online space better for the brick and mortar stores, but it's not going to disappear.
Okay, definitely, I agree. I think that they will not disappear totally. It's, I think, a long trend. If it's going to happen, I don't know. But for now, I think the pandemic times equipped us as marketplaces, but also retailers, physical retailers, in a sort of way to interact with the users in a different ways. And they didn't try that before because of many reasons. They didn't maybe feel it's a chance to do that. So they started different, let's say, collaborations, and they combined physical experience with digital experience. There's a brand in Poland, a shoe retailer, who started offering sort of combination of online experience and offline experiences, where you can actually order shoe or e-measure your shoe and then being delivered in store or online. So I think that those collaborations happened, and they will have footprint on the way we shop in the future.
Yeah, finally, the whole experience is the user experience.
Yes.
From the advertising till the final purchase.
Yeah, yeah.
And mainly from Allegro, what the role of the social media platforms plays right now in the e-commerce industry? Because we saw the trend in all social media platforms that are integrating this e-commerce platform inside there. Is a benefit for you, or it's an ally, or it's hurting you a little bit, or?
Mm-hmm. So first of all, social media, it's not a new trend anymore. It's something that we're accustomed to, and for last time, 15 years, it's been there. So it's just our reality. And as with everything that becomes I would say a commodity, you just have to take the best advantage of it. So it's cooperating with social media in itself, like the companies as social media, but more like with people on the social media, the influencers. But not only with influencers, meaning like the big brands, but also the smaller ones, which provide a quality content for some kind of a niche thing. This for marketplaces, the horizontal ones, it's very important, because then you can build those small pockets of niches and enable those people to actually influencers to make money and to drive some traffic to you. So that's why we started, or we have this kind of affiliate program, not only for the big names, but for the also for everyone. So we're benefiting from this kind of a social movement because it brings people together, it inspires them, and I think one of the most crucial moments in the whole shopping experience is actually the inspiration, meaning that you need to somehow awake the need to have something to inspire yourself, to make your life, I don't know, maybe even better. There are new solutions. I'm now furnishing a new home, and there are things that I've never thought were possible. There's the fridges, all the space, and I think this is the social media is a great place to actually get inspired, and then convert it into meaningful, traffic and sales. But
making the transaction inside the proper platform instead of your page, web page, is a benefit for you, or?
I think that it's still, from my perspective, it's still about building this relationship with the customer. Meaning, I want to, at some point, I would like the customer to have a relationship with me, not with the social platform itself. So this is a great place to actually, put yourself out there, make sure that you're visible. Yeah. But then we are the owners of the relationship, and we can. And it's not like it's not kind of being greedy. It's about making sure that you can provide the customer with best experience and unified convenience. So the first question that we talked about was about trust and convenience. Yeah. Once again, if we can bring customer to our platform, they feel at home. So they feel safe here.
Great, thank you very much. If we all know that Google is making a lot of changes right now. This can be mainly for G2A with this or for Allegro, because with this cookieless scenario that Google is showing us, you will be affected by this because we have a lot of ads running with third-party cookies, the personalization modules, etc. Is this going to affect the final consumer or the company?
I don't think so, to be honest. I think it's we not only use those type of advertising methods, but we also build organic traffic, we invest in a brand. So I think that we also develop relations based on affiliate networks. We develop our own, and we have our own loyalty program. Maybe world is changing and skewing toward communities right now even more because of blockchain communities and all that related to that. But I don't think it will affect us. Maybe to some extent, but not in general, and it will not hamper our growth or something. It's just a different way to get to the customer. It's a new way to... Profiling is a bad word. I would say finding a way to deliver the content that the consumer needs and wants. So I don't think it will somehow hampers our ways to provide this content. No.
So the promise of having all those tracking cookies and ads was that the content is going to be relevant for you.
Yep.
But the experience is that usually it's so.
Obvious,
And then what Paweł said about communities, I think this is one of the places where marketplaces will shine. Meaning, we have this kind of community of customers who are used to, who like us, who want to shop with us, and we have a lot of meaningful data about their behavior on our platforms. We don't actually need to reach out to know what they've been doing in the morning while browsing their newspaper or something. So, this is the way we can make everything more relevant in this kind of, in our community. This is a great word.
Yeah, and once you convince those customers, because of course the customers that you already have and already know you, it's easy to interact with them. Yeah. If they're on mobile, it's even easier. Whilst for new customers, I think we are pointing, especially for us, Allegro is more of a local Polish marketplace, now expanding abroad, but we are everywhere, to be honest. Yep. We are in more than 170 countries and have customers all around the world. And we invest heavily for our sellers, to be known. Our sellers sell products that tremendous amount of digital products that are available for consumers around the world. And we are building this trust and building this experience that here is the place where you can shop online all the digital products you can imagine. Yeah. So, I mean, the cookie policy does not really
affect you.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
You will turn to more awareness campaigns.
Exactly. This is what we are actually doing. I mean, if you look at the change that happened in the last 3 or 4 years, especially during the pandemic times, people changed the way that they interact with the amusements, meaning that they were looking at the games that the kids play, and now they played with them. Because they didn't have a chance to go out. So they are convincing toward those digital entertainments, right? So these are those new customers, not the hard gaming type of customers whom we need to educate and communicate to. And the way to communicate to those customers is by building awareness.
Okay. So perfect. Thank you very much. And what do you think about the affiliation programs in the traditional media as branded content for the physical products? Online service works as prescription for your platforms? These communities that we were talking before?
Yeah, exactly. That's the same thing. I think we are getting back to affiliations and those type of programs. We have it. It's called G2A Goldmine, and it's growing. I think that more and more influencers, celebrities will use it because this is a proper way to build communities around certain, let's say, area of interest. So yes, again.
Allegro is making the same, or?
Yes, yeah, just as I mentioned previously, we have the Allegro affiliate program, and basically, it's targeted at anyone who's building an online presence, and they actually want to, start sharing their inspirations and make some money out of it. So it's also, once again, very horizontal marketplace. So we need people, we cannot build everywhere. We need people who are passionate about it. Yep. And they know what they're, proposing you, because the whole value that comes from influencers. So if they're good ones, so it's, it's kind of a trust. Hey, I trust this guy. I don't know him, but it feels like I know him for years, or her. That's one thing. And the other thing is that they are good at something. And they have the knowledge. They took this proverbial 10,000 hours to have the deep knowledge about something, and they can actually recommend and propose solutions to me. And it will not always be using the cheapest materials or something, but the quality, the outcome of everything will be great. And I trust this person that whatever they propose to me is going to be great. And I think this is once again, a place where horizontal marketplaces can step in and provide them with a place to actually quickly realize or execute, like, hey, this girl is building something great, those are the materials, hey, let's go and buy them. And I'm going to have them at my doorstep next day.
Yep, thank you. And mainly for G2A, we have seen in the past year that G2A is continue growing up with more verticals, apps, subscriptions, cryptocurrencies, gift cards, etc. Expanding more like an horizontal marketplace. What is the reason behind this? You want to get more different customers, or?
The short answer is because that's where our customers are, to be honest. And this is what our customers want. This is what they need. This is in the interactions that we have with our customers, this is what they say that they would like to shop with us. So it's all digital. It's all that fits nicely in this brainless experience that we want to provide to our users. I think it is slightly horizontal, but it stays within the sphere of being digital. So our users normally shop products that are either, as you say, cryptocurrency-based or blockchain-based. So this is something that they want to add to the basket. And I think that's a natural, normal process of evolution for us. We are opening a gate to adventure. That's how we call it.
Yep.
So whatever your adventure is, your treat is in the digital world, whatever the entertainment that you are searching for, we have it. So.
That's great. In the case of Allegro, I saw that your company is developing a lot of products apart from the pure marketplace, like Allegro Smart, Allegro Ads, or Allegro Pay, and they are having very good impact, as I see in the latest results that you published. But also Allegro is promoting good values for the community, such as sustainability, education, or charity. Are these some strategies for the next years? And regarding this last one, what impact they will have in the final consumer?
So one of the macro trends that we're seeing is this kind of growing awareness of your, let's say, carbon footprint, or caring about the environment in general. And one of those ways is carbon footprint. And while e-commerce is great, and it brings a lot of convenience to you, and you can shop anywhere, it has those, let's say, disadvantage of actually you need to ship it then, and shipping one or two parcels from merchant to the customer, it has some kind of a carbon footprint. So customers start to think about this more and more. So they think, because we've been focusing a lot on this kind of a pre-purchase or purchase experience. You want to have the process of purchasing goods as great as possible. But then what comes next is that actually after purchasing, there is this even logistically very hard thing of delivering the goods to the customer. And while in previous years it's been about mostly time of delivery, now it's also about making sure that you don't pack it in some plastic wrappers but a cardboard that can be somehow recycled or reutilized. Whether you use some plastic fillings or use once again some cut cardboard or paper, and then whether you use delivery methods that are actually sustainable in any way. So that's why we've seen a great. So as Allegro, we've been investing in those, not only in building awareness, but also helping our merchants to be able to provide this kind of environmentally sustainable way to ship their parcels. So we've been selling special cardboards, which are let's say kind of made to measure from our perspective, to the most common size of goods at no margin, just to so it's easy not only for the customers but also for the merchants to actually acquire it and start sending those parcels. We've also seen in Poland the growing importance of out-of-home delivery methods, meaning instead of a courier going door to door, knocking on 90 doors, you actually arrive at one parcel machine and you put 90 boxes into one place, meaning you save on the fuel and going through the small streets across the city. And we've actually built our product there ourselves, which is one boxes. So we have a network of 3,000 boxes across Poland now, and it's still growing. So yeah, so I think this is a long trend, and it's only going to be more and more important in our space.
And is again for build trustworthy strategies for the consumer, right?
Yes, yeah. Yes, because well, then customers come to you and they trust that it's no longer about inspiration, payment, but it's now also about, hey, I trust that here Allegro is educating merchants to actually do well by our planet.
Yeah.
Meaning, the merchants have access to some materials, so they are able to actually ship it, in the most environmentally sustainable way. And it's only and with the new regulations from the EU, meaning on the sizes of empty space in the cardboards and so on. We're only going to have to double down on this. And I see our role here as kind of a educator and market leader of making sure that once again our dispersed network of merchants, it's 130,000 of them, so it's a big deal and it's a big impact and it's a huge responsibility on us to actually educate them and to incentivize them to use those once again sustainable methods.
Great, thank you very much. And also regarding the payment options right now, we've seen in the last year that we have new ways to pay, like buy now, pay later. You can split your payments.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to be for the next years, the new developments for this kind of payments?
For us, I think we're gonna see these options are already present, heavily used. Some of them induces people to spend more. They are being used for larger tickets, higher tickets.
Yep.
But I think the new options that may emerge in metaverse, maybe. Current options may not have a perfect fit into metaverse, so whatever you want to shop in the metaverse, in-game items or whatever that is, or maybe physical items even, I think we could see some potential new payment methods that will emerge there. But other than that, I think we actually have more than 200 payment options on our website. So customers can use whatever they like, which is the best preferred option for them. And I think in the payment sphere, we pretty much developed as globally everything that we need. But in the metaverse, I think there might be a sphere that we're gonna see some new payment methods.
Yeah, I'm pretty down to earth in this matter. So BNPL or buy now pay later methods, or like a great thing that happened. I'm a bit curious how it will all shape up with the cost of capital that we have today, because they all were born when borrowing money was really cheap for everyone,
yeah.
Also for the lenders. But we have, of course, our own product, Allegro Pay, which is actually our customers love it. So we have an NPS score of 95. So this is you cannot get much higher than this, and it's really working. But also, like what Paweł mentioned, the most important thing is the convenience for the customer, meaning just give them the methods that they want. So BNPL is removing some barriers when you want to buy, for example, new PS5 or Xbox. I heard they're available now. You can actually buy them. Yeah. But there are also those other methods. But from my perspective, so we're talking a lot about the customers, but marketplaces are also about merchants. And I think the innovation that we've been bringing recently is actually giving the same kind of mechanisms, not only to the customers, but also to merchants. So we have this kind of a buy now, pay later for businesses. That's one thing. But then we also are supporting our merchants in this kind of a day-to-day turnover financing.
Yep.
So, because once again, we think a lot about those millions of customers, but there's also hundreds of thousands of merchants on our platform, and we also know about them a lot. Meaning we know how much they sell, so we have some predictability in how their finances or cash flow is going to shape up. So why not, give if we know that they already sold something, they don't have the money yet, we can lend them. We know that they're going to get this income anyway. So I think this is also like a space to revolutionize. It's a bit harder because when you're dealing with companies, different rules applies than with customers. But I think this is going also to help the customers in the end to get as wide selection on the best prices on our platforms.
Yeah, it helps them a lot right now to as much option that you have, it will be better for them. And yes, so speaking about the metaverse, as you said, G2A or Allegro will be present in those metaverse. I know that it's not a big metaverse now established, but is the future or?
I think it's the future. I mean, of course, currently we are in a winter cycle of all those blockchain markets, but I would presume this is a solid, valid trend, and that maybe would take longer to evolve, but it's a solid trend. I think that we are building our Web3 presence anyways. I mean, I think that this is a future trend that will be here for longer. I think that the gaming industry is prone to, being interesting for all those type of inventions. And we are there, of course, trying to follow our customers because that's where our customers are. I think that non-fungible tokens are also here to stay. Again, games are pretty much a good example of a use case in this area. In-app items or whatever the gamers will develop within gaming, let's say, sphere is sellable. So having a marketplace that is equipped in this ability would, of course, be of benefit to us and for our customers.
And for the physical products, you see them in a few years being present in metaverse or?
Now, once again, I'm a bit more skeptical on the whole metaverse experience and the ideas. So, well, I think it will take much longer time for us to actually have the tech and build the experience for the users that they actually want to use. So it's not only for like this kind of a geeks and people that are jumping right into the new trends, but for everyone around. So like my parents or even me to actually be able to jump there. So I think we're not there yet tech-wise, meaning like it's too cumbersome and it's too unnatural for us still. But of course, it's a trend to observe. But for me, one of those trends that's happening and that's going to happen is actually we talked a bit about applications, about mobile apps, that they're like great sales channel and they're also like a very convenient thing for the customers to use. But kind of an opening, but they're kind of a closed ecosystem. So if we have a app from your bank or from Allegro or something, this is our app, this is our space. But then I think we're going to start opening those applications so we can actually augment them and make it, kind of a, the customer is going to want to do more and more within the apps, or we can kind of build this, enable them to do more and more. So recently we've released this kind of a mini apps experience where you actually have some QR code scanner, you have some loyalty cards in there. We've been investing a lot in this kind of, once again, post-purchase experience, which is the hard part where a lot of problems actually happen because it's moving goods. So you actually, you feel safe not only until the purchase, but after the purchase, that you feel informed that where is your parcel, and then whenever you want to pick it up, you also use the same mobile app. So it's the same experience end-to-end all across. And with physical goods, once again, the post-purchase is equally as important as the pre-purchase.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a physical good marketplace and a horizontal marketplace and digital marketplace and more vertical marketplace. Our customers are more tech-savvy, I would say, and they are interested in those type of novelties. So I think that our customers are already pretty much ready for those kind of novelties, and they are, even if you look at the other product categories that they shop with us, with our sellers, they usually shop for all those crypto-related products as well. So I think that's something that we are building because of the need and the desire from our customers to have those products and to buy those products. So gaming industry, entertainment, digital entertainment industry, I think it's going to be slowly ready. I agree with Adam. It's not going to be something that will take our world as seen now by the storm. I think it's going to happen slowly, but it's going to happen.
Great, because right now the gaming industry is the pioneer in terms of digital goods, you can purchase DLCs, etc.
Exactly, it's easier for this industry to somehow embed this technology. If you look at the games like Roblox, for instance, it's almost natural to evolve in this direction. So I would say I'm not sure how we would fit it in the process. Some kind of collaborations probably would need to exist, not only with marketplaces, with publisher, but also with payment providers. But definitely this is probably where the world will be heading in the next few years.
Yeah, I see in the last year more in the physical goods go more for augmented reality, things like that, to try put it your sunglasses or your clothes. It's going more in that way that metaverse instead.
Yeah, but I think those are still, like when you say, like, you know, putting on your clothes or fitting your things in the, those are like, you know, early steps, early,
very early,
for sure.
early, you know, it's like cool experiments, but then you try to use it, and you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it's not. And what customers want is, like, you know, they want to build trust, and it's predictable. So Paweł gave the example of the company, like, you know, that measures your feet digitally, and then you can buy shoes.
Yeah.
This is predictable. So you know, so basically, people use it because it's convenient. But if you know, if you want to buy, I know, new furniture, and as I say, I'm in the process now using, I don't know, IKEA app to actually try with the AR. It works most of the time, but since it's such a big investment, I still want to go and touch it and feel it. So it's gonna be there, because like I think Paweł touched on a great subject of, for example, games like Minecraft, Roblox, and so on, which are basically like online communities where it's digital first, digital only, basically. So with the people who've been, like, you know, raised in those kind of environments, coming to the market, we're going to probably see some tectonic changes in the next few years.
Yeah, but as Adam said, we are in a world or a situation, economic situations, where the interest rate, the inflation rates are hampering our growth a little bit, and companies look at cost optimization structures and the cost of development as well, of course. So we may not see some, you know, breakthrough innovations happening this year, maybe. This is not, I mean, a lot of uncertainty on the market, so probably this is not the moment where you normally invest in those type of projects, which have, of course, high premium, but high risk associated to that normally, as is. But in the shorter future, hopefully next year maybe, we will a little bit evolve in the more, let's say, favorable conditions, and then why not?
Yeah, because right now it's a little bit risky to go to these experiments, are a little bit
at the end, we are all businesses, you know. We have to make money, we have to make sure our shareholders are happy.
But then in the tough times, we can actually, you know, see what models are actually feasible and then build on top of them. Because, you know, if it's all free-for-all fantasy with a lot of cash going around, you know, you also experiment a lot, but then you see, you have the funnel and you see who actually survives and what's feasible at this moment in time.
Yeah, there are startups, of course, who are more carefree, just as with children. Children are more carefree, they are more adventurous, they take more risks. We as adults, as businesses who have customers, we need to be more cautious, we need to take certain decisions in a more, you know, there are a lot of trends around us, and they do not have labels like short-term trend, not invest, long-term trend, invest. We need to be very savvy, and we need to figure out which trend will last longer, because that's the investment you want to take in. I mean, the longer trend, the better.
Yeah, that's it. You don't know right now if you go to Roblox or you go to another place or Fortnite or whatever.
And that is why startups are agile and big companies are less agile. Still agile, but less agile.
For sure. Well, I don't have more questions. If you want to add something.
Fine, thank you.
It was a pleasure to be with you today. Thank you very much for inviting me to this meeting, and
thank you.
It's a pleasure to meet you. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.